Welcome to True Crime Questions with me. In this video we will address the doors of 1122 King Road. By this time, many viewers have probably heard about the front door of the 1122 King Road house being seen open the morning of November 13, 2022. In this video we will dive into the mysterious possibilities surrounding the front door of the 1122 King Road house being spotted wide open on the frigid fateful morning. We learned of the front door being wide open very early in the case. A neighbor claims that the front door of 1122 King Road house was open during the early morning hours of November 13 around 8:30 a.m. For more information, check out the related article. Is this a critical piece of information in this case? So, the front door was seen open that morning? Okay. That just opens up so many more questions. Stay with me here. The air in Moscow, Idaho, turns crisp and chilly in November, so what would make someone leave the door wide open in the cold? The temperature in Moscow, Idaho on November 13, 2022 was between 29 degrees and 30 degrees Fahrenheit between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Why would the front door be open, particularly when it is next to Bethany's bedroom in which she claimed she was in that morning? As you can see, Bethany's bedroom was closest to the front door. You think she felt the cold air coming into the home? With the low Idaho winter temps and the front door being open, Bethany likely felt the cold creeping into the home. Would you have checked your door if you felt the cold creeping into your home? Time for a deep dive. Let's go. We are going to take a closer look at the 1122 King Road doors. The 1122 King Road home had several doors that opened to the exterior of the home. The front door opened like a traditional door, opening inwards at the entryway. The front door was described as having a keypad, requiring the passcode to enter. We know Xana's dad went to the home, possibly to assist with changing a lock. Here's a clip of Xana's dad explaining his experience with the front door in an early interview.
Door locks with the number code. Every time you open it, like I had to go around the house to get in the house because of the number code. So they either knew that or they just kind of went around and found the slider open.
So, either someone inside the home opened the door, or an individual who knew the passcode accessed it from the outside. The front door was seen wide open at 8:30 a.m., it's possible it was opened earlier. There were two other doors, one was a sliding door off the rear of the second level of the home which opened to the kitchen. The last known entrance of the home would have been the sliding door off Kaylee's bedroom that opened to the balcony upstairs. You are looking at the second floor entrance allegedly used by the suspect. According to MPD, the suspect did not use the front door. The suspect accessed the home by entering the kitchen through the back sliding doors on the second floor and later exited through the same doors. Therefore, the front door was not used according to LE. Now, let's explore various scenarios to eliminate some possibilities for how the front door might have been opened. So, let's just speculate that none of the roommates arrived home around 8:30 a.m. to open the front door because, well, they were already there. Who else could have opened the door? Let's hear from the experts.
Were the roommates home at the time of the attack?
There was other people home at that time, but we are not just focusing just on them, we're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
So, whom else must we consider? We have heard about others being at the home by MPD prior to their arrival at the crime scene. That may possibly answer the who, but the why matters. So, why was the front door open that morning? To avoid mentioning names as this is speculation until more is learned. Well, we've heard some names connected to their intimate circle as possibly being there, along with some family members allegedly. Now, in speculation, let's say the roommates opened the front door. What possible reasons did the roommates have for keeping the front door open? Let's go over this. Was the door open because the smell was intolerable and it had to be kept open in order for them to be able to remain in the home for several more hours? But for what reason? What have we heard about the crime scene? Some have claimed it was complex and messy. The odors were likely overwhelming and were probably taking over the home with the leakage of body fluid. The smell would have been horrific. Are we the only ones who think this is weird? A crime scene where 4 students brutally lost their lives. The suspect did not use the front door, yet it is wide open for hours before the police are even notified. Take a look at this article where Sergeant Shane Gunderson shares his experience upon entering the home. In the article it is revealed what greeted Sergeant Shane Gunderson as he entered the house for the first time on November 13, 2022. Gunderson admitted he was taken aback by the overpowering scent of bodily fluid that hit him as soon as he entered. That confirms the fact that the home's odor was intolerable. We can also speculate with the front door being open it may have assisted with lowering the body temperatures and slowing the processes the body undergoes after passing. That house was probably very cold inside. Could this possibly throw off the time of the 4 students passing? Is this the why? This scenario invites further questions about the dynamics at play. Who would leave a door open under such circumstances and not contact police? What might someone have known or intended? If that's the case, that means several more hours passed before the police were called after the neighbor saw the door open at 8:30 a.m. So, why was the door open for so long prior to the crime being reported to police at nearly 12 p.m. November 13, 2022? What was taking place inside 1122 King Road between 8:30 a.m. and 11:58 a.m.? It was over 3 hours before 911 was finally called? Take a look at this video of Moscow PD.
Information on the forced entry. There's no sign of forced entry, but did it seem like any of the entries were left unlocked by any means?
We're not 100% sure if the door was unlocked, but there was no damage to anything, and the door was still open when we got there.
Here's the front door of 1122 King Road. The chief was correct in saying it appears there's no damage to, no sign of forced entry, and it was in fact still open when they got there. Now look closely at the door. Is something missing? A deadbolt has been removed at some point, but why? Why would you just remove a deadbolt from the front door of a college home full of young students?
We're not 100% sure if the door was unlocked, but there was no damage to anything, and the door was still open when we got there.
The chief did mention, the door was still open when we arrived. It seemed as though the chief suggested that the door had been open throughout the entire morning. What aspect of the investigation led him to imply that the door had been open longer than when it was reported to be seen open? Was it the temperature inside the house or a remark from someone who observed the door open all morning? Let's look at the hand motions of the chief as he explains the door being open. What door do you think he's talking about? The front door or a sliding door?
We're not 100% sure if the door was unlocked, but there was no damage to anything, and the door was still open when we got there.
He keeps referring to the door, just one. Which door is he talking about? More than one door was open. Allegedly, some have speculated U of I students, including Greek Row and some of Moscow's community, knew of this tragedy before police were ever called. Many students lived close by 1122 King Road. Some could clearly see the home from their windows. So, why wouldn't they call 911 after learning about the tragedy? The timing of the neighbor's observation could be pivotal in unraveling the truth behind the open door and the possible events that transpired during those critical hours. The delay in notifying the authorities adds another layer of complexity. One may speculate it suggests either negligence or a deeper involvement in the situation. Who opened the front door and left it wide open on a chilly November morning in Moscow, Idaho? Who do you think opened the door? Let's hear from you. Drop a comment or question below.